welcome back to my channel. So I had a lot of requests on how to make a knot top, so I'm going to be showing you how in this easy tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my starting line, and then I'll proceed to get my chest line, my bust line, under bust, my waistline, and I'll add 1 inch for my hemming allowance. So this is my shoulder line, my chest line, bust, under bust, waist, and hem. Then I decided that the hem allowance wasn't really necessary. So on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my shoulder divided by 2. And I'll put the same thing on my chest line so I can get a straight line. For the neck width, I'm going to be using 4 inches. And for the depth, I'll use 3 inches. And I'll just connect these points together. I'll come down on this line here by 1 inch and connect it into the neckline. On the chest line, I'm going to impute my chest round divided by 4, and I'm going to add half an inch for ease. And then I'm going to find the middle point of this line, and I'll come in by half an inch, and I'll create my arm curve. On my waistline, I'm going to impute just my waist circumference divided by 4. And on this line here, I'll come in by about 0.7 inch because I want to create a new armhole. On my chest line, I'll come down by 0.5 and then I'll connect. So moving on, I'm going to connect my chest line to the waistline, and then I'll add 1 inch for my sewing allowance, and I'll connect. The next thing I'll do is connect the center of the underbust to the side of the waistline. Now I'm going to cut this out so I can create my slash lines and spread. So from that underbust line there, I'm going to connect into the middle of my shoulder line and also connect to the middle of my armhole, and then I'll connect to the edge here, and then I'm just going to draw one more line because I want about 6 pieces. So I'm just going to number this and make sure that it's up to 6. So between 3 and 4, I'm just going to make a notch here, and this will guide me when I'm about to sew on my fabric. Taking a fresh piece of paper, I'll be spreading my pattern pieces. One thing to note when spreading is that 3 and 4 should face the same way. So where those notches that you made, they should face the same direction. I'll be spreading my pieces with 4 inches in between them. It's very important to note that 1 and 6 should touch, and also 3 and 4 should touch. After spreading, I'll trace out my new pattern and cut. I'll also label this while I'm tracing out so I know where each place is. Then I'm going to add my 1/2 inch allowance on the center front here, and I'll also add 1/2 inch on the bottom part here. For my back pattern, I'm going to get my starting line, and I'll also mark out 1/2 inch for my zip allowance. Now I'm going to mark out my chest line, my waistline, and 1/2 inch for my hemming allowance. On the shoulder line, I'll put my shoulder measurement, and I'll put the same thing on the chest line and connect. My neck width is still going to remain 4 inches, and I'll come down by 1 inch on this line here, and for my neck depth I'll use 1 inch, and I'll connect these points together. Just like the front, I'll come in by 0.7 inch here, and on the chest line I'll put my chest circumference divided by 4, but I won't be adding any ease, and then I'll just go ahead and add 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Now I'll come down here by 0.5, and I'll create my new armhole. On my waistline, I'm going to take my waist circumference divided by 4, plus 1 inch for dart and 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Then I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurement, and I'll put 1/2 inch on both sides. Now I'm going to contour my waist a little bit, and to do that I'll go in by 1/2 inch on the waistline here, and I'll just connect that to the neckline. First thing I'm going to do is hem the top and the bottom of my front piece. Okay, so after doing that, the places where I have my notches facing, I'm just going to join them together like this, and I'll run a stitch and stop about 1 inch away from the center here. Okay, so I've joined it together, and this is the hole that I left in the center front of the pattern. So what I'm going to do now is take my second piece, and I'm just going to gather it up at the end, and I'm going to insert it into that hole that I created on the second piece. So afterwards, the next thing I want to do is join these two sides together. So I'll flip it over just like this so it can match right sides to right sides, and I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and just stitch this down. Alright, so after stitching, this is what mine looks like. The next thing I'm going to do is close up the center front, and I'm just going to place this right side to right side, and I'll just stitch it down. Alright, so I also stitched down my dart on the back piece, and I'm just going to join this to the front piece on the shoulder. After joining the shoulder together, this is what it looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do is close up my side seam, and I'll do this right sides together, and then I'll also hem the bottom of my top. Now I'm going to insert my zip, and the zip is going to face down because I'm not using an open-ended zipper. I'll stop somewhere here so I can create an opening for my hair to pass through. Alright, so this is exactly what I described. This is an opening on the neckline, and the zip is facing towards the waist, and this will help me wear my top better. The final thing I'm going to do is just add my bias on the neckline and on the armhole. And that is it, guys. This is what your top should look like when you're done. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.